Okay, welcome you all on your channel Prabhu Science Academy. Dear students, in today's class we are going to start a new chapter, human reproduction. If you are new on this channel, so in this chapter we are going to start the concept of reproduction from very basic, okay, from very basic to NEET level, okay. What is the meaning of reproduction? When we talk about the reproduction, what exactly it is? Okay, it is the biological process through which living organisms, okay, living organisms maintain the continuity of a species, okay. Or we can also say that reproduction is a biological process through which living organism produces offsprings similar to themselves. What exactly the meaning of similar to themselves? Okay, when we talk about the similarity, it is about the morphological similarity. It is about the genetical similarity. On more advanced level, for conceptual clarity, I would like to say that reproduction is necessary to maintain the continuity of germplasm. What exactly the meaning of germplasm? Whatever the living organism, it has its genetic material inside its cell. Okay, that exactly the germplasm. Okay, during the course of reproduction, organisms transfer their genetic material from their generation to next generation or to the offspring generation, right? So they are transferring their germplasm to the offspring. So we can also say that it is necessary to maintain the continuity of germplasm, okay, to maintain the continuity of species, right? So in human reproduction, when we talk about the humans are dioecious animals, okay. Male is different, female is different. They have their own individuality, okay. They produce well developed offspring. So such type of organisms are known as viviparous organism. Viviparous means those organisms which give birth to young ones, fully mature developed young ones. And what is the meaning of oviparous? Those organisms which lay egg, and after the maturation of egg, new ones come out of the egg after the hatching of egg, right? So we are talking about the events of reproduction. What are the events of reproduction? Okay, during the human reproduction, what is the key requirement? That is the gamete. Okay, so first of all, the formation of gametes should take place. That process is known as gametogenesis. So the first step or first events of reproduction, of course we are talking about the human reproduction. The first step is gametogenesis. Okay, after the formation of gamete, okay, in male gamete is formed, spermatozoa is ready, and in female ovum is ready. What exactly we have to do in the next step? Okay, we have to ensure that sperm and egg should meet with each other, right? So what exactly we have to do? We have to transfer the male gamete to ova. Okay, that process is known as insemination. Insemination. By the process of insemination, a spermatozoa or male gamete is transported to the egg cell. Okay. Now, spermatozoa and egg cell are standing in front of each other. What exactly the next step will take place? They will fuse with each other. Okay, male gamete will transfer its genetic material inside the ova, and then both will fuse with each other to form diploid zygote. That fusion is known as fertilization. The next step after insemination is fertilization. The next step is fertilization. Now after the fertilization, diploid zygote, which has the half chromosome from mother parent and half chromosome from father, okay, Now the diploid zygote is ready Okay, here is single cell. Okay, it will divide mitotically to form 2 cell, then 4 cell, then 8 cell, then 16 cell, and then so on. When after division 64 celled stage is obtained, that stage is known as blastocyst. Okay, zygote will form. This zygote will contain 2n set of chromosome. It is single cell. It will divide mitotically to form up to 64 celled stage. That stage will be known as blastocyst. And this blastocyst actually is ready for implantation. What exactly the implantation? Implantation is attachment of blastocyst to the endometrium layer. So one more thing I would like to say you, what exactly the endometrium? It is inner layer of uterus. And in endometrium there are 2 layers. Endometrium functionalis, endometrium basalis. Endometrium functionalis, okay, undergoes cyclic changes in menstrual cycle. Proliferation of endometrium functionalis takes place during the process of menstrual cycle, during the follicular phase. Development of follicles takes place. Along with that, proliferation of endometrium functionalis also takes place. Endometrium functionalis prepare itself for implantation. If egg is fertilized, zygote will be formed. Okay, so it must be ready for the implantation process. After fertilization, zygote will form. Okay, zygote will divide to form 64 celled blastocyst, and the next step will be implantation. Implantation. Okay, now the blastocyst is attached to the endometrium functionalis layer of uterus. Okay, inner layer of uterus. Now this is ready for the embryonic development. Now embryonic development takes place. Okay, and this period is known as gestation period. That period where embryonic development takes place. This period lasts for 9 months plus minus 10 to 15 days. Okay, this whole period is known as gestation period. So the next step is gestation period. After the completion of embryonic development, fetus is ready for delivery. Okay, after the completion of embryonic development, okay, development of various body parts. Okay, when fetus is fully developed, okay, then next step is parturition. Next step is parturition. Next step is parturition. I hope you have understood about the different events of reproduction, what exactly we are going to discuss in this chapter. Okay, and after that we will discuss the first major topic of this chapter, that is male reproductive system. So I should erase this. Okay, so here we have male reproductive system. We are going to discuss about the male reproductive system. Okay, for the process of sexual reproduction, the key requirement is gamete, and the gamete forming organ is known as primary reproductive organ, because the gametes are primary requirement of sexual reproduction. That's why the organ forming gamete is known as primary reproductive organ. And in human reproductive system, in male reproductive system, specifically testis is primary reproductive organ. Okay, so we are going to write the testis is primary reproductive organ. Along with the gamete formation, what exactly the other role of testis? Okay, it also secretes testosterone. So it is also a gland that secretes testosterone. Okay, testosterone is the hormone which brings secondary sexual character in male. Okay, now let's talk about the testis. It is a primary reproductive organ. What about the other parts or other organs or other different portions of male reproductive system? So when we talk about the other parts, other different types of ducts are there in the male reproductive system. That ducts are known as accessory ducts. Accessory ducts. Okay, accessory ducts. What are the ducts in male reproductive system? Okay, which are accessory ducts, which facilitates the transfer of male gamete, okay, from testis to the outside or to the female reproductive system. Okay, so that ducts are known as accessory ducts. When we talk about the accessory ducts, here is rete testis, rete testis. Next one is efferent ductus, or we can also say this vasa efferentia. After that we have epididymis. After that we have vas deferens. Or is also known as ductus deferens. Ductus deferens or vasa deferens, vasa deferentia. Okay, different names of vasa deferens, right? And after that, ejaculatory duct, and after the ejaculatory duct, gamete comes to the urethra, and the various ducts are various glands are also present throughout the accessory ducts. Okay, that glands are known as associated glands with male reproductive system. We are talking about the associated glands with male reproductive system. First one was testis, primary reproductive organs. Second one was accessory ducts, and now in third category we will talk about the glands associated with male reproductive system. How many glands are there? The first one is seminal vesicle. Now the second, prostrate gland. Now third one is Cowper's gland, or Cowper's gland, also known as bulbourethral gland, right? So we are talking about the different parts of male reproductive system, where we are saying the testis as primary reproductive organ, which also acts as the secretion of testosterone, so it has glandular function also. Now let's talk about the accessory ducts. We have various types of ducts in the male reproductive system: rete testis, vas efferentia, or efferent ductules, or epididymis. Now what's the difference? Ductus deferens is also known as ductus deferens, then ejaculatory duct, and then urethra. Let's talk about the associated glands with male reproductive system. Along with that, the fourth person in male reproductive system is external genitalia. In human male, external genitalia is penis, which facilitates the process of insemination, which helps in the transfer of semen inside the female reproductive tract, right? So I hope you have understood all these names. Okay, now I will erase this. Dear students, one more thing I would like to emphasize here, that you should only remember the names that are mentioned in NCERT, okay, that have to mention in the leveling of NCERT, okay. The extra names that I write on the board, okay, you don't have to remember that, right? So just remember the concepts of NCERT, the names of NCERT, okay, that will be enough for your board exam, okay. Let's talk about the next testis. Okay, details of testis. So we've discussed that the testis is primary reproductive organ. Why we are calling this primary reproductive organ? That is, it helps in the production of a male gamete. That is the primary or key requirement of sexual reproduction. That's why we are saying this testis is primary reproductive organ. Along with that, testis has glandular function. It secretes testosterone. So let's talk about the location of testis. Where exactly testis is located inside our body? Okay. So the pelvis region, the hip region. Okay. Near the pelvis region, testis is located. Okay. So the location of testis is pelvis region. Okay. Let's talk about the dimension of testis. Okay, let's talk about the dimension of testis. What exactly the length of testis, what exactly the breadth of testis, because it is oval in shape. Okay, so when we talk about the length of testis, dimension, length is about 4 to 5 centimeter. When we talk about the breadth, it is 2 to 3 centimeter. Okay. Shape of testis is oval. Shape of testis is oval. Okay. Pelvis region. Along with that, one more thing that you should remember about the location of testis. In pelvis region, it is located outside the abdominal cavity. Okay. Outside the abdominal cavity. Okay, inside pouch like structure known as scrotum, or it is also called as a scrotal sac. what exactly the need that we are placing this testis inside the scrotal sac outside the abdominal cavity. Okay, one more thing that you should emphasize about the testis requires the temperature for spermatogenesis which is lesser than normal body temperature. It requires 2 to 2.5 degree lesser temperature than normal body temperature. Okay, our normal body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius and testis require 34.5 to 35 degrees Celsius for the process of spermatogenesis. Okay, that's why we have to place the testis inside the scrotal cavity. Okay, during the gestation period, okay, around 7 months, okay, testis descends in a scrotal sac. Okay, if testis do not descend in a scrotal sac, such condition will be known as cryptorchidism. Okay, cryptorchidism. So let's talk about the next details of testis. Okay, so we have discussed about the shape, location, dimension. Okay, now the next thing is testis is oval shaped. Okay, and now it is divided into different compartments. Okay, around 250 compartments are there inside a testis. Okay, inside a testis 250 compartments are there. Okay, that compartments are known as testicular lobule. Okay, and in each testicular lobule 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules are there. Okay, so total number of testicular lobule or compartments inside a pair of testes, 250 in one testis and 250 in other. So the total compartment or total total number of lobule, testicular lobule is around 500. Okay, and when we talk about the total number of seminiferous tubule, one compartment consists of 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules. So total number of seminiferous tubule inside adult human is around 500 to 1500, right? Or when we talk about in a single testis, total number of seminiferous tubule, okay, it is around the 250 to 750. Okay, it is clear to all of you. Okay, let's talk about the testicular lobule, okay, which has 1 to 3 seminiferous tubule. Okay, and now around the seminiferous tubule the interstitial cells are present. Okay, that are also known as Leydig cells. That cells are responsible for the secretion of testosterone. Okay, interstitial cell or Leydig cell secretes testosterone, right? So today's is all about for this much content. Okay, in next class we'll continue for further topics. Okay, so all the rest, prepare well, okay, for your exam. Solve maximum question as you can do. Solve sample paper, solve PYQ questions. Okay, hope you are doing well. All the best.